Hey guys, welcome back to the 1,000 Card Project and our weekly report. This week we're going over October 5th through the 11th. For those of you that are new, we started with a $500 investment and about 300 cards, and we've grown that to 1,000 cards, which is the goal for the number of cards. And we're working on building that 1,000 cards that are worth $1 a piece up to 1,000 cards that are worth $100 a piece. This week we sold a total of 39 cards, so not a terrible week. 38% on eBay, 42% on CollX, 4.8% was a refund, actually. C was 4.8%, Facebook Marketplace was 9.5%. Most of my sales are in eBay and CollX. Links are down in the description. If you're new to CollX, make sure you reach out. I'd love to be your first purchase there. So just search 1,000 Card Project and let me know that you just joined CollX. This week we sold 4 total cards for the bulk cards. Again, bulk are things that I had in my existing collection, and 3 months there where I tried a bunch of different things before landing on the 1,000 Card Project as a strategy. I've been gradually selling that off just as it goes and taking that money and putting it in what I've called debt, which was about $1,400. And chipping away at that. So each week, I take half of those sales, put it towards the debt, half of those sales, and put it into the budget. So we had about $5.54 go into each. Just a couple of those sales there. Did sell a lot, 110 card lot. That was just a bunch of just base NFL quarterbacks, and sold that off. We were sitting at $1,041.16 that we've paid towards that debt. We have $377.88 left. As I've mentioned in the last couple of episodes, getting impatient about selling that off. I think I could lot it up and maybe wipe that out, but I've been trying to stay the course through these 12 months just to let that ride out and see if we could recoup that back just naturally. That's a big challenge and debate for me right now, is whether or not I should just try to minimize what I've got in my inventory and get rid of some of that. But I think I'm going to hold for now. This week we sold 35 total cards in the project for a project level of 280. Each card gets a project level. So if it's a $5 card, it gets a level 6, meaning that after we sell it, all of our fees, everything, we should walk away with at least $6, meaning that we profited at least $1 a card. That's kind of the goal here. So we needed to sit with a project level of 280. We needed to sell at least 280, and we hit 350. So, again, buying good cards that are selling for more, we're buying better, which means that we're getting a little bit more margin put towards the project. Nothing really to highlight in the project cards that sold. One strategy I have been doing is, as I've come across them, either in card shops or card shows, if there is a notable player that is in a cheap PSA slab, so maybe they got a 9, maybe it's less than that, I've been picking those up, and then I've been using kind of a strategy that I learned from Dale Calvert on the podcast. If you guys haven't watched that episode, I'd encourage you to watch that. But he does a bulk box, or he does a slab box at his card shows, where he does slabs for $15 or 4 for $50. And I've been kind of doing that on Facebook Marketplace and seeing if that worked out. So I was able to sell 4 slabs there on Facebook Marketplace, which is good. That's something as we go into the next year. It's not just about bringing money in, but it's about plugging leaks. And instead of having money go out in some of these fees for some of these platforms, if I can do more on the Facebook Marketplace and social media, I'm definitely going to look into that. This week we bought 9 total cards for the project for a level of 25, and we spent $277.71. Picked up a LeBron James. Again, nobody really knows how long LeBron has left playing, but this was a Sports Illustrated for kids and a slab, and at a pretty decent price. Picked up a PSA 10 Ohtani, Trout, and Upton. Again, Ohtani's just through the roof, but this is a kind of a neat card where they're sitting in a golf cart with Trout. And so you got 2 Hall of Famers sitting there and a PSA 10 for a good price. I did sell a Dan Marino AGS 8.5 that I really wanted to hold. And And so was disappointed about that, but I picked up a raw Dan Marino rookie, picked up a Jackson Holiday PSA 10, Summertime in the Park, which I really like that insert. Lawrence Taylor rookie, a Jackson Merrill rookie, and a slab, a Randall Cunningham rookie, and a slab, and then tops traded Barry Bonds rookies. Some good pickups there. We're sitting at about $1,700, maybe $1,800 in the budget. So we're really healthy when it comes to the budget right now as well. And our project level, I think, is 6,781. So our cards are averaging 6.78 on a collection level. So again, meaning that the 1,000 cards is, that we started with, $500 and 351 cards is now 1,000 cards that are worth $6,781. Again, if I'm being honest, I thought that maybe we would be further along than that. But when you sit back and you really think about it, $500 and in 7-8 months, it's $1,000+ That's a pretty good return on your investment. So happy about that. Questions I have going into this week. I'm continuing to buy on in the NFT space. I don't know if you saw Jason Hiles' episode as well on the podcast. Card Block NFT, really, really smart guy, really doing some cool stuff. And he had recommended a LeBron James where he's throwing the chalk Prism 2024 Prism a while back, and I picked it up for I think about $8, and that card was selling for $260 plus as an NFT this week. Now I decided to hold, and it has dropped back down to I think 160, 120, something like that. But still, $8 investment for what could be an iconic card later on down the line. Again, as I mentioned earlier about LeBron James, I think hold that, see what happens. But it did teach me a lesson that I need to buy multiple of cards like that. And so I wish I would have bought two. If I did, I would have definitely sold one. So questions I have going into this week are what are some other plays like that I can make in the NFT space? I mentioned the bulk boxes and selling off some of the inventory. I've been converting my current inventory into SKUs. If you're new and you're just starting this, start with SKUs. I heard this advice early on, but I ignored it and I'm kicking myself now. Start with SKUs from the very beginning, and it'll make your life a heck of a lot easier. Those that want to support the channel and the podcast, please like, share, subscribe. Really appreciate that. Comment, recommend cards to purchase or strategies to try. People that I can have on the podcast is another good thing that I would love to hear from you. And then you can always purchase cards from us either on eBay or CollX or sell us cards on those platforms as well. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for following along, and we'll see you next week.